Good evening again, everyone. I'm Ms. Williams, the BSW Field Coordinator. So I want to talk with you guys about Practicum, undergraduate Practicum, and what that looks like, what that is about, and to start preparing yourself, especially freshmen and sophomores and juniors. Our seniors can attest to our process so far. They haven't officially started their internship, but they'll be starting in the next couple of weeks. But they can actually tell you guys about the process up until now. So, like Ms. Pettaway said, make sure that you meet with your advisors. If you don't know who your advisor is, tonight is the night to find it out. So, meet with your advisors frequently, communicate, check in at midterms. I tell all of my advisors that check in with me at midterm. If I go through my list and I haven't heard from you, because I highlight and check out, if I haven't seen you or heard from you by midterm, I'm calling you or emailing you to see where you are. Or I might even follow up with Dr. Cochran or Ms. Pettaway or somebody in the department and say, hey, have you had such and such in your class? Have they shown up? How is class going? Send them to me, please. So I will be looking for you as far as making sure that you stay on the right track for graduation. I would hate for students to get to their junior year preparing for field, and then you haven't taken out a prerequisite classes that you need to take because you haven't been meeting with your advisor frequently. So field is about preparing you to enter the field to work directly with clients. All of these core classes that you've taken, Intro to Social Work Communications, Human Behavior 1 and 2, Policy 1 and 2, Methods 1 and 2. All of these classes are classes that's building your skills and preparing you to enter the field and work directly with clients. I know we do a lot of role playing in class, but when it comes to getting directly face-to-face and in person with the client, it's totally different. So making sure that you're ready, making sure that you're building your confidence, building your skills, communicating, doing that role play, even role playing with us as your advisees if you need to build your confidence is very important. So start preparing for that now. Also, when it comes to your internship is on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8 to 5. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8 to 5 off campus. So make sure that you have reliable transportation. Go ahead and start working on those things now as well. You will need reliable transportation to get to and from your internship on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays your senior year. And then your other classes will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You will have seminar class, which is in conjunction with your field instruction class. Seminars held on Tuesdays from 11 to 12. So make sure that when you're enrolling in your practicum courses that you enroll in both of those classes, field instruction and field seminar. Also, leading up to your internship, and it's a lot coming field, we require students to participate in at least 3 counseling sessions. Why? Because you need to make sure you're taking care of you before you can get out in the field and take care of somebody else, right? Right? Internship comes with a lot. Social work is challenging, so we gotta make sure we're taking care of us before we get out and try to take care of other folks, right? So it's important that you go and make sure you meet with those counselors in the counseling center, or if you have any other interest in other areas, just get with us and we'll walk you through that. But meeting with your advisors is very important. Internship is fun, it's challenging. You become a different person from the time you enter field to the time you walk across the stage. But make sure that you're communicating, you're engaging, you're participating in different organizations on campus. I'm sure we'll talk about that later on. But making sure that you're involved and making sure that you're truly taking advantages of the opportunities and learning experiences in class, and also volunteering in the community, whatever it is that you need to do to make sure you're preparing yourself for an internship. Yes.
You said on Tuesdays and Thursdays, your senior year, that's the class on settings, and then
Yes.
Monday and Wednesdays and Fridays. And what was
The practicum settings, yes. 8 to 5.
No, for the
Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's just whatever the classes are offered on those days,
Okay.
yes. But seminars on Tuesdays from 11 to 12:15. Yes, good question. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 to 5. Tuesdays and Thursdays courses, reliable transportation, counseling sessions, prerequisites have to be completed and passed with a C or above prior to entering field. Your prerequisites have to be passed, C or above, prior to entering field. Okay? Am I missing anything, field team? Field questions? Questions? That was a good question. And we'll have Ms. Mumpfield to come up and talk a little bit more about the Title 40 funds. Yes.
So regardless of where you're placed in the field, it's going to be 8 to 5?
It depends on the agency. That's just the time frame in which you will have to practice. Yes.
peers, we have specific rules today, and I'm going to try to behave and be professional. So Title 4E is one of the programs that we have as an extension of what we do in Practicum. And so I'll talk a little bit about that. How many people in here want to get paid to go to internship? Want to, yes. So let me ask you this, what are we paying you for because we're teaching you? However, there is something called a stipend, and there are some programs, some organizations, some entities that offer a stipend. What's the difference in being paid and a stipend? Let me tell you. Being paid means you're bringing something to me, I can release this work on you and you can go do it. Can you do that as a senior level student in a program? Thank you, Sugar. You ain't say it, but your face said it to me, right? No, you can't. However, we understand that there are some needs that all of us have, which include some dollars. And so again, there are some spaces that allow and have stipends. And so I want to make sure we're using this language because we're not ignorant to the fact that funds are necessary and needed, but we also want to be sure that you have a language. I think Ms. Willis mentioned that as we talk about that in seminar, which is why that class is so important. What you do in your agency on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we get to reiterate and back up and make sure that you are conceptualizing and being able to put that into words and to actions and to discuss with great intelligence what you're doing and how you're doing it. So one of the ways we do that is we use child welfare funds and programming. So there is something called Title 4E, which is a child welfare program and includes a stipend if you are interning and then decide to be employed with DHR. Now DHR gets a bad rep, but the reality is there are cases when families need intervention. It just is what it is. Life happens and families need support, and DHR is the entity in Alabama for that. And so they have decided to create a program. It's actually a federal grant, but you get to implement it state by state, how you choose to do it. And so here in Alabama, if you are a BSW student, an MSW advanced standing, or a second year MSW student who interns approved by your field coordinator at a DHR agency and agree to work for them post-graduation for 18 months, it's usually, we could say 2 years, but the time of your practicum is included in the 2 years, so it's 18 months post-graduation. They will go into a contract with you for a stipend. So it is divided over 3 payments. So you get a payment at the conclusion of your internship, and then there's 2 others doing those 18 months. And I think the total, if you stay for that entire 2-year time internship through the 18 months post-graduation, is almost $10,000. Don't hold me, because the number recently changed, but it is a lot more than what it used to be. It used to be like $2,000, and that was for the whole time. So now you get a payment of a couple of thousand at graduation, a couple of thousand 6 months in, and then a couple more thousand once you meet your mark. But remember, it's a contract. So as a student, if you're looking at working with children, adoption, foster care, that's what we consider child welfare work, and you're willing to commit to working with DHR, it not only comes with that stipend to help support you through this process, it comes with a coach who would walk with you through that journey those first 18 months after graduation. You also have to have a 3-point or higher GPA. So that coursework Ms. Willis just told you about passing with a C or above, we aiming for a B or above. A C will get you there, but a B and A gonna get you some extra support, right? And that's scholarship in other spaces as well, but particularly this stipend. So as you're thinking about your career and what you want to do with this degree, think about child welfare. Let Ms. Willis and Mrs. Davenport know when you get to their process of application and interviewing, and then we can talk further about it from that point. Questions, thoughts, comments, concerns? Okay, I just want to make sure. A good social worker gonna read body language, so I was checking the room. Okay, I'm scanning, girl, yes. Okay, if you need me, I'll be floating around. I gotta go to the other room as well, and Ms. Willis is here, and we'll go from there. Look forward to seeing y'all around.
Any other questions about field? Any other questions? If you think of anything, where am I located? Okay, and my advisees are last name A through I. I see a couple of y'all in here, so if you have not met me, you didn't know who your advisor was, last names A through I. I'm your advisee. So come see me, send me an email, give me a call, see me before we leave here, okay?